Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at this guitar, it's Telecaster style guitar. Before we go into it, I'd like you to just subscribe if you haven't already. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll be doing a prize draw to win a Mosky tie-dye drive. Just so you know, I'm not sponsored by anybody, so all the stuff that you see here I've bought myself. It's not, I have no sort of stake in any businesses, so this is all just from what I've been using and what I've found out from ownership and from real daily use. So let's dive right in. This is the guitar. It's called an C1. This is the NK-C1 crosshair. It's essentially a Telecaster, but it's very contemporary. All of my guitars are old-fashioned, apart from one, which is my PRS hollow body SE. But all of my other guitars, even my other PRS, which is a McCarthy, it's very old-fashioned in its neck shape, in the way the fretboard's been designed, the bridge, the tailpiece, all of those things. This is the only guitar that I own that is kind of a new style, a contemporary modern style. So I've been thinking about getting myself a traditional T-style guitar that's low cost, that I can take to gigs where I'm in an area that is, let's say, not as safe as some other areas. Very dear friend of mine did a show. He uses a Tom Anderson guitar, so they're not just expensive, they're hard to get hold of. So he'd sort of travelled across the country to get this guitar, and he did a show somewhere where he got into some trouble. There was like 10 people coming up to him, sort of asking him questions about his guitar on his back, and he said, oh, it's a bass, and they kind of left him alone. But it was a very, very dangerous situation, and he could have ended up losing his Tom Anderson, which is a hard guitar to replace. I think it is great to play nice guitars, but if you've got the option and you've got a nice guitar that didn't cost the earth, and you're playing in an area like that, well, what's wrong with taking that along? So this is a guitar that can be sort of knocked about a bit. That was the purpose of it. I was thinking about getting a Squire Classic Series Telecaster, so one of those Squire Classic Vibe Telecaster, and I had my eyes set on the 50s one because of the maple fretboard, the maple neck, and they were looking great. I've played one before and I was blown away by it. But I went to a musician's do. So we have a musician's do in Birmingham, which is the city where I live, every year, set up by Paul Price, absolutely phenomenal sort of musician, really good guy as well. And in this room, it was at the Jam House in Birmingham. In that room, there were hundreds of world-class musicians, actually, and just some really beautiful, lovely people. And we have a band on these dudes, and the band was Thomas Atlas, who's a wonderful musician. His band were off the scale, really great vibes that night, and he was playing an guitar. He had an Telecaster style guitar. I've always seen him with nice Fenders and things like that. I've never seen this, and I thought it was like a Saw or a Tom Anderson style custom job kind of guitar. I thought, oh, he must have spent a fortune on this custom style guitar. And it set me thinking, well, I'm going to check these out. I'm going to check these guitars out, because I looked at the neck and the frets looked really cool. Anyway, long story short, I've looked and I've found this, and I picked it up for eBay. It's a used guitar, and it came in the craziest packaging I've ever had a guitar. It came in sort of toilet roll tubes and bin bags. It was a bit crazy, the packaging, but it was well packaged enough for the journey. Had fragile tape on it, and it came in really good condition, actually. I can't believe I spent that money on this guitar, because it's every inch a pro instrument, and it's quite an inspirational instrument. Let's just talk about the specs then, because guitars like this, it's almost like a custom shop instrument really in terms of the spec that you've got. So let's just go from the neck is by far sort of the best thing about this. If you bought it just for the neck and stuck the neck on something else, you'd be kind of in a good way. It's got, first of all, a roasted maple neck. Okay, now there isn't a massive difference to me, sort of whether it's roasted or not, but it's a way of drying necks out. It was -1 in the UK on the day that this was delivered, and it wasn't delivered in a box. It was just kind of wrapped in bubble wrap. The guitar was freezing cold, and was, you know, it came to the door. I brought it in. I had my 2-year-old daughter with me. I left it on the sofa, and then I went and took her bowling, right? And I had lunch, bowling, probably about 5 hours. I come back into the front room, picked this guitar up, and it was still cold. So that's how cold it was. The neck was absolutely fine. It hadn't moved or done anything. So I thought that's quite good, especially given some of the situations I've put guitars through with leaving them in vans on tours and things. That's cool. It has a compound radius neck, so it starts with one shape. It starts with one radius, which is 7.25, and then it goes all the way up. It goes to a 9. It goes to 9. So it's 7.25 up to 9. So it flattens out essentially as you go up the neck, which has advantages to that, and it has like a more old school feel down here. And then it gets a bit sort of flatter and easy to play for lead stuff up the top. It's got the same scale length as a normal kind of telly, but the bridge part seems to come out a bit further than it does on a normal telly. And the neck in your hand starts with like a sort of U shape, and it goes up to a C shape, which is great. It's again compound neck shape, compound radius neck. It's got a bone nut, like an actual bone nut, and then it's got these nice tuners. The headstock shape's like a saw, if that's how you pronounce them. I'm not very good at pronouncing things that are sort of. It's got a nice satin finish to it. These machine heads look really cool. They've got 21:1 ratio, which means you have to turn them a bit more to get them exactly where it needs to be, but it does it. So I'm quite happy with that. And then fundamentally, and this is there's two real big things here. I reviewed a Fender Elite USA guitar that had a truss rod wheel. This has a truss rod wheel adjuster, and it has the most beautiful stainless steel frets that are rounded off on the ends. Last time I saw that, I think, was on a really high-end Yamaha guitar, but I absolutely love that detail. And the neck and the fretboard is totally rolled. It's so nice, and in your hand, it's just a wonderful neck to play. So that's the neck. It's just ridiculous how good that neck is. I did do a little truss rod adjustment when I got it, because I changed the strings from 9s to 10s, because I'm used to 10s. But yeah, just a tiny little alteration there. I didn't need any special tools. Moved the truss rod a tiny bit, reacted perfectly, changed the relief. Next, we're going to work on we're going to look at the body. So the body has a beautiful. It's made of it's book matched mahogany. You can see it through the colour, through the translucent finish. So it's got the same contours you see on the Tom Anderson T-style guitar. It's got this beautiful kind of sunken section here. I know the Tom Anderson just have 2 screw holes. This has 4, but it sinks down, so the handshake on the back of the neck is really nice, really easy to get to. Way easier than you would expect for a telly style. It's got a belly carve here, which is great for somebody like me who's just come out of Christmas and New Year with an extra stone on them. So I'm determined to lose that stone, but there it is. And it's got this lovely cutaway here. So these body contours are fantastic. You've also got this one here on for your arm. So again, I've seen that on Sur guitars. It just makes it a lot more sort of ergonomic, you know, to play. And it does have that custom shop kind of feel then because of that. And I've played some of the Fenders with the arm thing and the belly carve, and again they just feel that extra level higher, and there's a lot more thought sort of into the guitar. I like how they've changed the scratch plate shape. I think, I don't know for sure, but I think you can put a normal one on. It's got this minty green thing. It comes across as white on every camera in the world, but yeah, it's minty green, quite vintage looking. There's a flame maple sort of cap, which is very thin. It's like a veneer, to make it look a bit more deluxe than it possibly is. And of course there's the ashtray style bridge, which I like. I prefer those. Now this particular one, because it's secondhand, and this is an upgrade that a lot of people have said to do, and I would recommend, is the Wilkinson compensated brass saddles. That's what these are here. So they're the compensated brass saddles. Very easy to intonate, which I've had to do with this, and it's actually pretty dead on, which is you know, not always that easy with the three that come out on the Telecasters. And brass bridge saddles, I've said it before, I'll say it again, they always make for a better sounding, sustaining guitar. So that is pretty much it. It's got Artec pickups. The knobs are a little bit slow. I don't like how slow they are. I like sort of, I don't know how to describe, I don't want to say I like fast knobs, but there we go, I said it. I like the knobs to just move really quickly, especially if you're doing, you know, the Buchanan-y swell things. Pickup selector's okay. I'm probably going to replace these at some point if I really like it. You know, I'll probably do that. And other than that, it's kind of just, that's what it is. I mean, Telecasters are supposed to be a simple working man's guitar. The back here in the screw holes, there's still a bit of compound, like polishing compound in there, a bit of powder in each one of those. I'd have got a piece of, in the factory, it would have been good if they'd have just got a blower in there, compressed air, get that out. It's got like nice little ferrules. Nowhere on it says made in China. I mean, it's made in China, right? But nowhere on it says made in China. Probably inside. But here it says designed in St. Louis, USA, which, you know, gives it a nice feel. So what I'm going to do is just play some tones on it through, I've got like a modeler here with a deluxe reverb sound. So that's on the neck pickup. It's quite dark sounding, I think. Now if I put it on the middle one, I've just got my tone all the way up. And then if I just go to the bridge, right, I'm going to compare it to a real Fender Telecaster now. So I've got, just going to play a nice G here. It's very warm on this guitar. That's on the middle pickup. Here's the bridge pickup. So the tones between the two, I find that this sounds a bit meatier, a bit thicker sounding. The body wood is very different on these two guitars. So the body wood on this guitar is mahogany. So mahogany does give a bit more of a punchy kind of sound. Weight-wise, this guitar is a little bit heavier than that Telecaster as well. That Telecaster has, I think it's basswood. It's either basswood or it's alder, where this is mahogany. Right, this weighs 7.2 pounds on the scale, and the other Tele is 6.9 pounds. Okay, so you've been looking at the guitar. Right now, I'm really enjoying this for what it is. I recommend you have a look at them if you're in the market for a guitar with modern features. And the features in this are extremely good for the money. I cannot believe how good it is. So there we go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Be excellent to each other.